Are you the kind of person to gloss over your wins? Do you forget to celebrate your achievements? Do you kind of sugarcoat your traumas, saying, it's okay, I've dealt with it? We tend to forget to give ourselves credit for how far we have come. So for how much we have achieved, for how much we have battled through. If a friend went through the same things, we would celebrate them. So why do we forget to celebrate ourselves? My name is Angela Cleary. I'm a feminine empowerment coach and I specialise in healing after narcissistic abuse. We tend to skip over our achievements. We get to a certain stage, we achieve a certain goal, and we're like, what's next? What should I do next? And I was sitting with this last night and I was just like, why is that? Why do I not celebrate my achievements? Why do I not celebrate my wins? And deep down, it's down to core wounding. It's fear that I'll never be enough. Fear that I'll never be good enough to be loved or to be seen. Because that's how I felt as a child. So is it unconscious that I rushed to the next thing because I don't think the last thing was good enough? That I don't think the last thing was worth celebrating? And there's another thing that I noticed as well, is that I tend to sugarcoat my traumas. Saying, this is it, I've healed so much, right? And then I get through it in another stage of healing and I'll try to remain positive so as not to go back down into that hole. And in doing that, I don't give myself enough credit for what I've been through. And I think we all have that kind of, we don't give ourselves enough credit. Like if your friend had been through an awful lot of traumatic childhood trauma, had been in narcissistic relationship after narcissistic relationship, had been toxically, physically and emotionally abused throughout her life, had to walk away and make hard decisions to go on her ascension path, had to just really sacrifice an awful lot to heal, told you that every day she heals something more, told you every day that she cries, that she has something else to battle through, what would you do? You would look at them and you would say, wow, you're such an amazing person. You have such strength, you have such courage, you have such resilience. You would literally see them as a superhero. And you would compliment and celebrate that. But you don't see yourself as that. Even though everything you went through was just as severe. Everything you went through was just as hard. And that's what I kind of realized was, we live in this warrior or survivor mode. And this is why and this for me particularly, I tend to downplay the downs in my life. I tend to kind of go, it's fine, it's grand, I'm fine now, I've healed from it, I learned lessons. And this is another thing, if somebody hurts me or, somebody does me wrong, I'll be like, I understand it's their unhealed wounds that they need to heal, that they're coming from, a wounded place. I forgive them because of that. And then I move on. And then all of a sudden I will get this wham bam of emotions because I forgot to feel it. I might be able to understand why a person did something. I might be able to forgive that. But it doesn't make it hurt any less. And that's the thing. I don't give myself enough credit for everything that I've endured. And I don't give myself enough credit for everything that I've achieved. Why, Because there's a deep down core childhood wound saying, I deserved that pain? Or that I'm not good enough to celebrate? It's still, and this is the thing with everything in our lives. Everything we do and everything we don't do all comes back to that wounded inner child. Comes back to our wounded trauma from childhood. And that's it. If we're delaying celebration, with every win we get, we're effectively saying that wasn't worth celebrating. That I wasn't worth celebrating. Which is actual fucking bullshit, because if somebody else fucking did what you did, you would celebrate them. So what is within us that is telling us that we're not good enough? That if, we achieve something, we don't deserve celebration because we need to achieve more. That we should be over here rather than here. And this, another thing as well, what I've been, noticing lately is like, I will have, like, the energies are intense. And I've said this to so many people. We need to do self-care as a priority when we're going through our healing journey. So if you need time to rest, you do that. Listen to your body. Take that time to heal. Take that time. Being is doing. Being in the moment is doing. You need to rest and recuperate for the next step. But lately, I'm sitting there kind of going, feeling guilty. Feeling guilty for taking an hour off. Feeling guilty for sitting down and relaxing. Feeling guilty for watching a movie instead of doing something productive. But like what I'm trying, like, where is it? I'm hard on myself. I'm so hard on myself. Like, you know what I mean? I'm really hard on myself, and I'm in anxiety when I'm supposed to be resting. And if my friend came to me and told me that they were resting because they needed to rest, I'd be like, yes, rest more. Do what your body is telling you to do. So why am I different? Why do I treat myself differently to everybody else? Why don't I celebrate or acknowledge myself as much as I do other people? And that's really sad because, like, if I actually sit, and I sat with this last night. I sat with everything I went through my whole life from the moment I was born. And I was like, Jesus, girl, go easy on yourself, will ya? I deserve a fucking break. I deserve to do life the way I'm doing it because I have fucking had a shit fucking go of it, like. And if somebody asked me, like, oh, that must be tough, and I'm like, nah, it's grand. Like, sure, you have to do it. I heal every day. I purge every day. It's a part of the process. And it's like, geez, that must get tiring. And it's just like, it's fine. It's all a part of it. But you have to sit with it. You know what I mean? Just because I understand why things are happening doesn't mean they don't hurt, or doesn't mean that they're not, worth acknowledging. I know I keep flipping from, acknowledging how big our trauma is to acknowledging how big our wins are. But it's kind of the same. It goes back to giving yourself credit. Giving yourself credit for everything you've endured. Like that's a win. You know what I mean? We forget that. Like, during this awakening journey, it's a fucking roller coaster ride. The highs are high, the lows are low. We're purging trauma from past lives, from this life, from our childhood, from our toxic relationships. You know what I mean? So, like, not only have we experienced all of that fucking trauma, we're re-experiencing it now because we're fucking healing it. And then we sit there and go, no, it's fine. It's all a part of the process. Hello? This is the thing, we have to stop sugarcoating our trauma. And that sounds weird. Like, I'm such a positive person. So when I move forward, I want to move forward into positivity. And I don't want to dwell in the past because it's there to be let go of. And that's what the healing is for. But to just literally kind of go through it and not say, well done, or not actually acknowledge, shit, you went through the fucking wars. Sit down for a minute and rest. We're a lot of us are in this transition period, and we feel like we're delayed. We feel like we're stuck. We feel like we're not moving forward. We feel like sometimes we're not even on the right path. And then we punish ourselves for not being faster, for not wanting to be motivated. We were like, oh, maybe we're lazy. You're not fucking lazy. You're healing from fucking decades of trauma. You know what I mean? We're fucking healing ourselves and recuperating ourselves, regenerating ourselves after decades of fucking trauma. Yet we sit there and feel guilty for resting. Yet we sit there and feel guilty for nurturing ourselves. We punish ourselves for not moving faster, quicker. We punish ourselves for not feeling motivated. Wake up, and I'm saying this to myself, we're so fucking hard on ourselves. When our whole lives we've been fucking through the fucking trenches. We just went through all of it. And now we're repurging all of it in order to release it and in order to become our best selves. This moment of pause should be a moment of celebration to how fucking much we've actually gotten through. You know what I mean? Sit back, right? And remember how your life was before you became aware. And see where you are now. You think you're not where you want to be, but look at where you were. You were on drugs, you were drinking, you were in toxic relationships, surrounded by negativity, unaware of yourself and this world. Look at how far you have fucking come. Because my God, you have suffered so much and then you broke out of that. And you took baby steps every day to become the person you are now. Is that not a win? Is that not something that we should be celebrating? Is that not something you should be giving yourself credit for instead of punishing yourself for not being somewhere else? You know, stop sugarcoating what you went through. And I'm not saying overdwell on it. This stuff is for release. But fucking hell, give yourself a pat on the back, like, Jesus Christ, like, when you see how far you've come from when you were in the depths of that trauma, then see how far you've come from when you decided or, woke up to break out of that, to that day that you knew that you had to change. Look back on even 6 months ago and how you felt then and how much you've transformed in the last 6 months. We think we're slow, we think we're stagnant, we think we're not achieving anything. You have achieved so fucking much compared to where you fucking were. That's mind-blowing. And that deserves a fucking medal. That deserves so much recognition. So it's time to sit and recognize yourself. Because that's winning. You might, and as we're going as well, we're achieving goals as well. We're achieving our purpose. We're doing things that we've always wanted to do. So there's good things that we need to celebrate as well. Because that reminds us how far we've come. But it also reminds us that we are good enough. We're achieving stuff while overcoming decades and lifetimes of fucking trauma. We're achieving things slowly but surely while we're becoming our best selves. You know what I mean? Like, this is the thing. I sat there last night and not only did I have to ask myself, why don't I celebrate my wins? If a friend told me everything that I'd been through, that they were gone through it, I would be like, you're a fucking legend. Jesus Christ, you need a break. You deserve this rest. You deserve everything that you're getting because you've been through it. And I'm not saying if you haven't been through trauma, you don't deserve stuff. Everyone deserves the happy. Everyone deserves the abundance. But a lot of the time, especially when we've grown up in a certain environment or a belief system, because of our childhood trauma, we just don't think we're worthy. We don't think we're worthy of success. So if we succeed in something, we're like, that's not good enough. That won't have me be seen. That won't have me be loved. And I don't seek outside myself for validation. This is it. I don't need external validation. But there's a core wounding inside me that thinks that my wins aren't good enough. That, when I was sitting with it last night, it's unconscious. But there's still a part of my inner child that says, I need to do more. You won't be seen. You won't be loved. And that's really hard. And then as I said, it comes back down to recognizing the wins when we overcome stuff. Anyone who's been on the dark night of the soul will understand that fucking hell, when you get out of that, it's like, oh my God, thank God, thank God, thank God. But we don't give ourselves enough credit for getting out of that hole. You did that. No one else got you out of the deepest, darkest depths of hell except for you. You might have gotten therapy, you might have had a coach, you might have, had external tools, but you did this work yourself. You made the choice to come out of that hole. That deserves recognition. That deserves to be celebrated. So, instead of being so hard on yourself that you might be in a stagnant, and it's not stagnancy. This is the thing I keep telling myself now. I'm not stuck. I'm exactly where I need to be. It's not slowed down. It's actually the exact right pace for my journey. Because look at it, like, and I relapsed, right? Like, you know, I had a massive relapse between 21 and 23 where I lost myself completely. It was in the middle of my journey and like literally I was gone, disappeared. So I will keep going back to that. So even a year ago, I was in a really, really bad place. And, you know, I'm so much, even, you know, less than a year ago, I was in a shitty place. Every day I'm growing, and every day I should be acknowledging that. Every day I should be anchoring back to where I was and saying, wow, that's an achievement. That's a fucking win. Look at the strength that we have built, the resilience and the courage we have. You know, we have to get out of this. That's what it is with me. It's a survivor mode. I keep speaking about my stuff as if I'm on a fucking battlefield. And it's like, right, that's done. Let's go into the next one. You're charging ahead. And it's like, if somebody's like, oh, that's tough. I was like, no, it's fine. It's all a part of the journey. I'm going on to the next thing. And I completely forget how hard it fucking was. You know what I mean? You know, I'm like, you know, and literally anyone asks me how that time was, I would be like, oh, it was grand. You know, it was fine. I got through it. I'm healed now, so it's fine. That's what I keep saying about everything I've fucking been through. And lately I'm kind of saying, no, Angela, it wasn't fucking fine. It fucking broke you. And now you're fine. Yes, you're better. But it wasn't fucking fine at the time. And I have to remember that the shit that I overcame was huge. It was massive. Like, it wasn't just a fucking tiny little stone that I had to step over. It was a fucking mountain that I had to climb every fucking time I went through the dark night of the soul. Every time I went to heal a trauma. Or every time I experienced a fucking trauma. These are big things. As are our celebrations, our achievements, big things. All of it deserves recognition and all of it deserves our credit. So we have to start coming back to that. You deserve to rest right now because you've done so much fucking work up until now. You're still continuing to do that fucking work. You know, instead of punishing yourself for taking a break, look back on how much you fucking need a break. You know, we're taking dribs and drabs of breaks here and there. And we're like, oh, I have to be over here. I need to be doing something. You need a rest after every single thing you've been through in your life. And you need a rest for healing all that stuff that you've been through. Start giving yourself credit for how strong you really are. And start giving yourself credit for these achievements. Because overcoming trauma, healing from trauma is a fucking win. It's an achievement. Becoming your best self is a win. It's an achievement. Fulfilling your goals while you're doing this fucking healing is a win. It's an achievement. So let's start celebrating ourselves. Start giving ourselves credit for how far we've actually come. Sit with it. Sit with it for a minute. Look back on how far you have come. Even from yesterday, even from the last few weeks, this fucking Mercury retrograde, these fucking timeline transition shit, fuck, like, you know, and like, I'm running through it, and I'm like, it's fine, we're out of it now, thank God. But I had to sit with it last night, and I was like, Jesus, girl, you went through shit again, and you fucking got through it, well done, and it was fucking hard. It's okay to say that. It is. It's okay to acknowledge that. So sit with it. Give yourself credit. Because you're fucking winning. You're winning every single day. So you should be celebrating. Celebrating you every single day. It's time to give yourself that credit. Because you fucking deserve it. You deserve this rest. You deserve the celebration. You deserve this because you are winning. And everything you do is good enough. It really is. It's actually more than good enough. You've gotten through so fucking much. So start celebrating. Because you're absolutely on the win. Thank you so much for listening today, and I really hope this resonates. If it does, please like and share, and please subscribe to my channel so I can reach as many people as possible. And if you'd like help on your journey, please book me for a discovery call today, and I would love nothing more than to help you on your path.